Let's go. Everything's rocking and rolling. Let's go. Let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, he is the vocalist and guitar player for I Prevail. I wasn't lying. I got him. I wasn't lying. I got him. I wasn't lying. I got him, man. I got him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coffee with Sledge, Dylan Bowman.
What's going
what
on,
up,
man?
Dude? There he is. There he is. Guys, welcome him. Welcome. I'm going to turn my alerts off, actually. Boom. There it is. Because, like, if this goes really well, like, I might put this on YouTube. I just don't know how well this is going to go. Dude, we made this whole new, like, dude, if you're looking at it, dude, like, you got the whole setup, dude. Like, it did this all yesterday, like the interview, everything. Like, all of this is like brand new, dude.
It looks classy, dude.
Dude, I'm a little bit of a classy bitch, dude. I'm a little bit of a classy bitch. That. Thank you so much, White, for the follow. I really, really appreciate it. I thought I turned my alerts off. Let me hit the transition. There we go. No.
I see. We got a couple of regulars from my chat coming in here.
Regular from your chat? Awesome. So much, dude.
Dat Mug's one of my good buddies. Kyla, bonjour. She's
awesome.
From overseas. Thanks for coming and checking out Sledge's interview here.
I appreciate it so much. Forgotten Panda is one of my guys, man. He's coming in, man. Everybody's hype about you being here, bro. Everybody's hype for you, bro. I'm hyped.
Drinking a Red Bull. I'm wired, dude.
Are you? Did you go to the gym? Did you go to the gym today?
No, I'm in the middle of a move, so I feel like I've been doing like a lot of squats, lifting, and I should go to the gym though.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's get into this, man. Like straight out. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of your band. I've told you this multiple times. I love your band. I love your band.
Appreciate that.
And you were not the original guitar player for this band. You came in right after Taylor Swift's the cover they did on Taylor Swift's band. Ugh. I swear I swear I could speak today. I said I could speak.
Kind of...
What? All right.
Oh, I love that, dude.
Yeah, brother.
What? Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, I joined the band probably like maybe 3 or 4 months after they initially had like kind of did their initial rollout.
Yeah.
Their old guitarist Jordan, I think he either just got engaged right when it popped off and just got a new job, and he was like, nah, this isn't for me. I don't really know much about him, but the guys say he was a good guitarist. He's a good guy. It was one of those situations where like I wanted to be a professional musician. I was working with at Apple, and I kind of found an audition, I guess, through them. And it was one of those situations I had to take it, and I'm so glad I did. It was life-changing, obviously. So
how did they contact you? Or did they do like a Craigslist ad?
No. I used to I would have a couple drinks and I would just post a video of me playing the acoustic guitar, just singing and playing.
Okay.
And I was friends on Facebook with their producer at the time. And so he posted a status saying that he couldn't say much about the project, but they were looking for a professional guitarist. So I was like, this is for me. I can do this.
Right.
You know, to make a long story short, I had just gotten cheated on at work by my girlfriend that I'd worked with. So I was like, screw it, man. I'm taking this chance. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I guess I should thank her.
Yeah, you should actually thank her, right?
Yeah,
Look at me now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does she ever like text you and go, hey, remember me? And you're like, remember the time? Yeah, you could go and take yourself right out the door with that.
Well, what was really good is so like I worked with my boss on like the whole audition process. I told him what was going on because our cover of Blank Space was actually climbing the iTunes chart at the time.
Yeah, love it.
So like after I told my boss I got the gig, they were like, okay, so what's the next step for you? I was like, well, I'm going to take like 6 months off of work here and go on tour. And he's like, all right, cool. Let's make a big announcement. So I literally got to announce to her for the first time, like in front of my whole store, and to see her jaw drop and to just dip out. It was so gratifying. I'm actually,
hell yeah, dude.
I'm actually still kind of friends with her pseudo now. Like I obviously don't talk to her anymore, but like I left it on good terms after a while. It's just like, okay, whatever, you screwed me over, but like no hard feelings. It was just a really good moment, though.
You're a way better dude than I am, dude. If somebody like, I'd be like, I'm out of here. You can kiss my, you know, like you're so much better of a dude than I am. Like with that, man, straight out, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Half Baked, but I was getting ready to come in and doing the fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool.
You're cool.
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So they go, and then you guys sign with this record label, but you guys do the audition in like your guys' practice space, right? Okay, so dude, do me a favor, man. Like, walk me through that, because like the guys, like guy walks in, you're like, are we like playing like a show? Like, are we just kind of just f***ing around? Like how do we do this? Like, because usually when record labels come take a look at you, you guys are usually performing live because they want to see what the energy you guys bring, how involved the crowd is, so on and so forth. You guys are auditioning in your guys' practice space, right? So it's kind of like,
well, not only was it just like our practice space, but it's just like we rented I think it was like a 6x10 storage unit. So we're like all cramped in this little metal box. And this is like my second or third week in the band officially, just playing through the set. We've never played a show. And at the time they're like, okay, well, this CEO of Fearless Records is going to fly out and come watch us practice. And we're like, why? Like, well, they want to talk about signing us, even though we've never played a show. Like, they like the hype around the cover. They like our EP. Yeah. So we'll just play it for them. And so sure enough, we thought it was going to be like a group of people. It was just one guy. He just came and we just gave him a little stool to sit on. We played through our whole set and he was like, yeah, let's go out for drinks. And we went out to this like Italian restaurant. And before I knew it, he's like, yeah, all right, so we want to make you guys our newest Fearless Records band, and we're going to try to get you guys out on a tour. And it just happened real fast. It was one of those things where after we signed the deal, it was like, okay, now we have to go on a tour with 8 songs. How are we going to do that?
Right.
But we did for a year and a half.
Is it kind of like when Wayne's World, when like they signed and they're like, we got $5,000. We got $5,000.
So not exactly. So okay. What it was more like was like we all, well, I should say they all, because remember, I'm not the original member. They signed the record deal and we're like, okay, we're going to quit our jobs now. This is scary. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep working part-time and you guys are just going to, because like I was a hire on at that point. So they're like, all right, we're going to pay this one guy and quit our jobs. And so obviously for them, it was a huge risk and super scary. But, you know, after a while of touring and trial by fire, we realized we can do this. This is something that people enjoy. So it's just been growing. And I feel like I've said this before, but we get these opportunities that are like kind of like whispers. And I'm like, oh, dude, no way that would happen. That's wild. That's so far beyond the ceiling. And then it just happens. And it's like, okay, what's the next thing that's going to surprise me? You know, so.
Well, explain something like that, like to our audience, like a little bit of a, oh, I can't believe that this has happened. Like for me, it was when I was on Steve Austin's podcast.
That's so cool, by the way.
I said jealous. I was on your podcast. Yeah, dude, you gave me a shot. All right. And it's so good. We're going to get to wrestling. Trust me, we're going to get to wrestling. You know?
Absolutely.
And he gave me, dude, right place, right time. That's all it was right place, right time. I started rapping with Steve, and Steve was just like, yo, dude, like, you got a little bit of a story. Can I podcast you? And, you know, what am I going to tell Steve Austin? No. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what, brother? I'm good. Thanks, though. Like, thanks, man. It's great. You know?
You don't tell a rattlesnake no.
You don't tell what? Yeah, yeah, you don't tell him no. You know? And then all of a sudden, man, like, I did the podcast. I was like, I wasn't expecting it to come out. I really wasn't. I at all. It was just one of those things where it was just like, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. He texts me and goes, hey, it drops this day. And I was like, oh. And then all of a sudden, brother, like my Twitter was just like, bleh. And then, and then all of a sudden it was like Twitter. Next thing you know, I got bookers that I've been asking to get booked on, hitting me up going, you know, boom, boom, boom. And then like it all kind of snowballed into now I'm with Ring of Honor. So I go ahead and explain like one of those little bit of things that really was like, oh, all right.
So we did, like I said, our first like year and a half of touring was us as a headliner, which is super unheard of.
What were you touring in? Were you a van, bus?
No. So right when we started out, we were using what's called a bandwagon, which is like kind of like, sorry, my French bulldog's snoring behind me.
That's all right. We love dogs here.
Yeah. So it's like basically like a glorified moving truck with like 9-10 bunks in it. Yeah. And it's made to look like an RV. So we were touring in that first, which is already, you know, we're super grateful for that. But we were doing headliner shows, 300-400 plus people, which is dope. And then out of nowhere, it was like, well, hey, we might get this tour with Hollywood Undead and Crown the Empire. And we're like, nah, no way that's going to happen, though. It's not going to happen. And then the next thing you know, a week later, Steve, our other guitarist, is like, yeah, dude, so here are the dates. Here's when we leave. So at first we're like freaking out, like, oh, this is huge. We start playing like 2,000 caps. That tour goes by and we're like super grateful for it. 2 more weeks go by and Steve's like, hey, we got another tour offer, man. Pierce the Veil wants to take us out. And we're like, no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it does. And so it's just like these things that kept happening, you know, and I feel like where we're at right now, the last couple of tours that we've done have really blown me away is like how far this has grown. Like at one point, I'm off stage after playing a festival in Northern Invasion, and I'm talking to my idols, my literal favorite band of all time. I'm talking to Breaking Benjamin side stage.
Nice.
Right. And they're like, hey, we want to tour with you guys. And so I'm already in shock. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, of course we want to tour with you guys. Like, I don't even care what the other band guys say. Like, I want to do this. And they're like, well, dude, we can't. We just signed on for this tour with The Day to Remember and Beartooth. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
My other favorite bands?
Yeah,
like,
right.
What? And so, like, I have to go back to tell my favorite band, like, oh, hey, we can't tour with you yet because we're going to tour with this other band. And, you know, like, obviously going through that is its own, like, you're checking bucket list things off every day. And then to be on that tour and you wake up and one of the guys in the band's like, hey, man, we got 2 Grammy nominations. I'm like, no, we don't. You're fucking with me.
Right.
Like, no, we really do. So it's like, I have no idea where the roof on this is. I'm just going to keep going.
Just enjoying the ride, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Like I'm literally just trying to hang out and have a good time and be good to everyone around me too. Like that's the other thing. I'm all about spreading positivity where I can. So.
You know what, dude? That's so important because we're a huge here at Coffee with Sledge. I'm a very huge supporter, and what you put out is what you get back. You know, in life. Absolutely. And I was a very negative person for the longest time because I was addicted to alcohol and drugs, and you know, and now I'm almost 7.5 years clean and sober, almost 7.
Wow.
Yeah, something
nice,
like that.
dude.
Yeah, it's you know,
nice.
Yeah, man. And that really actually changed my life around, man. And like trying to help, you know, my community out as much as they can with like weight loss or whatever they're going through. I try to help them out as much as I possibly can. So it's like one of those things that's just like you, man. Whatever you put out in the universe, man, is you get back, you know. And then on top of that, dude, you're gonna get some haters.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Now let me ask you a question, because this is one of those things that's like very new to me. Like I'm very kind of new to the spotlight, I guess would be the right way to say. Right, with Ring of Honor and being on television and now doing Twitch and so on and so forth. You know, how do you deal with the people that try to actually bring you down?
Well, so I personally, I feel like I deal with this a little bit differently than most of the other guys in the band. I'm the youngest of 4. I got 2 older brothers, so I've always had somebody kind of like picking on me, so to speak. I do have things that get to me, and I usually kind of reflect and deal with those on my own later. I try not to ever like publicly give anyone that attention, because once you do, they've got you.
Right.
And they're gonna win no matter what. So like I just try to laugh off stuff. Like I could go to YouTube and I could look up comments of like live performances, and there are nights where I'm off. You know, there are nights where I'm a little flat or a little sharp, and I look at some of those comments and I just go, yeah, they're right, but I'm just going to laugh it off because I do what I want for a living. And like that guy could be maybe a really talented musician who's critiquing me because he's in a place that he hates. So usually when somebody says something really just sharp and aggressive, I immediately turn it back on them. I'm like, hey man, I don't know what's making you have a horrible day, but I hope whatever it is turns around. And then I usually give them like a really nice guy jab. Right at the end, just to let them know, they're like, hey, I'm not going to be too nice. That's just kind of how I deal with it. Nothing that could ever be turned back, you know, just enough to be like, shut up.
Yeah. I have this new shirt coming out. I'll send it to you. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're doing the final touches on it right now. And my Ring of Honor shirt just came out, but this one's going to be for my community. This is going to be something that I'm truly like, it came to me while I was driving. Like, have you ever had those like epiphanies while you're driving or like whatever you're doing? You're just like, with me, it's like with promos. Like I'll constantly cut promos while driving on drivers, you know, like just getting into it. But yeah, right. But man, the saying came to me, bro. And I was just like, man, dude, that's a shirt. Like that's a shirt. That's a lifestyle right there, man. And I haven't revealed it yet to the community, so I'm not going to reveal it yet to the community.
Sure.
I'll send it to you personally so you can take a look at it. Yeah, dude, it's one of those things, man, where you're just like, hell yeah, dude, like that's it right there. But speaking of like uplifting people, of something that you're into, you actually help somebody not commit suicide.
Somebody here?
No, you, right? You got to you personally, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You help somebody not commit suicide by just reaching out to them, and then all of a sudden they were in a bad place, and then you got off stage and you got the text back, and you from a female and said that it was one of those things where, I'll let you tell a story. Go ahead, please.
Sure. So, obviously I won't give names out or anything.
No.
She's a good family friend.
Yeah.
And, man, just to kind of give you like sub like context to the story, when I was like 21, I was living with her brother, and he and I were just like early college dudes, no ambition, just like, getting drunk, partying every day. I was working at McDonald's, just kind of like going through the motions and not doing anything and barely making rent. And so at the time she came over, and she's a little bit older than us, and just like kind of gave us some like sisterly tough love, and made us write down 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year plan for like what we wanted to do with our lives. And at the time I'm like, this is so stupid, but she was relentless on it. So we did it. And I still have the letter somewhere here. I will keep it forever. But my 10-year goal was to, make a living playing music, whether that was like living lavishly or whatever, but like find a partner and play music and live that way. And just one morning randomly on the back of the tour bus, I'm like sitting there kind of reflecting, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm living my life. I'm making enough money to live, and, I love my life. And so I just randomly texted her and was like, hey, I hope you're doing well. This letter actually really worked. So thank you. And I didn't hear from her. I went to a sound check though, and I came back with just like 2 like full books worth of text. And she was just so distraught. She was like, you have no idea. I was literally going to this place where I was going to like commit suicide. And like, I don't know if you know how much this text means to me. And I was just so taken back. I was like, I got chills and I still get chills talking about it, because it was like something told me like, hey, reflect and tell that person that it was so nice of them to help you when you were low. And it just randomly kind of connected, which felt so great and so right,
It's sometimes the smallest things can take somebody off a ledge. Like, yeah. And I've told multiple people that, that reached out to me, or that I've reached out to, and just telling them thanks, because I was right there, at a point where I didn't feel like I deserved to be on this earth anymore. I really didn't. And something pulled me, was like, yo, dude, like, no, you belong here. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're on earth. So you got to just find that reason and go after it. And, and hopefully to this day, she's doing fantastic.
She's doing great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
She is just thriving now. So I love to see it. So
good. Now, man, what you love pro wrestling?
I grew up on pro wrestling for sure.
You an Attitude Era guy?
So obviously I obviously love Attitude Era, but during the whole Monday Night Wars, I was introduced to WCW first. And so my loyalty usually lies with WCW. However, I have some favorites. Like obviously everybody loves The Rock, everybody loves Stone Cold. But as far as like WCW, Diamond Dallas Page, Lex Luger, Sting, Kevin Nash, when that whole Wolfpack era came out, like that's when when I was kind of like going to events, staying up every night, watching the Monday Night Raw and all that stuff. I have loved wrestling for a long, long time.
When was the last time you went to a wrestling event?
I went to go see SummerSlam, I think, at the Van Andel Arena in 2016. I want to say the main event was John Cena versus. Is it Cesaro? Cesaro. I think it was that matchup in a cage. That was the last one that I went to. Okay. I think.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
We gotta get you a wrestling show, bro. But I see you guys man, when you guys are on tour, man, you guys are stunning each other. You guys are like straight out like wrestling on tour, man. Like, because you guys are all big wrestling fans.
Yeah. So we did a whole wrestling themed tour. Actually.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. Your drummer was in a ring. Like, dude, that was badass, dude.
That whole tour was something else. So we just kind of like, it started out as Steve and Eric and I kind of vetting out like, oh, it'd be cool if the ring was like where our drummer was and like the whole stage was a ring. And then it became this like variety hour where we started to write in like Eric does a promo. We call an audience member up here to like be the heel. I had a whole bit that was like heels versus babyface. It was just I don't know if I'll ever have more fun than that on a tour.
That is that is awesome. Could you imagine like jumping off like from the drummer and you get on your turnbuckle and you're jumping onto like Brian or something with an elbow or something crazy like that, you know?
Dude, making that all of that kind of like at the very end, we played Scars is what we ended with. But it kind of culminated to, because eventually Brian had a vocal injury, had to leave the tour, but it was me and Eric at the time in the ring, and it would come down to like make it look like we were both going in for this super like Hulk Hogan-esque punch.
Yeah.
And then you just hear it all goes black and you just hear this dub over of Jim Ross just like, oh, he's sick. He's demented. And it's like that whole thing. Like, oh, it was perfect. It felt so good.
He's gonna puke. He's gonna getting choked up over here, man.
Yeah.
Would you wrestle me?
I don't know. That depends. Can I get a tag partner? Like 2v1?
Oh man, you want a tag partner?
Yeah.
Okay.
You give me my guitar tech, Jim Poggi.
Yep.
And I'm gonna let him start the match.
Let him take the heat. Just
let
him just take it all. Yep.
I'm gonna let him get you tired.
Yep.
Maybe. Okay, wait. What's your special move though? I gotta know that first.
Oh man, I got a couple of them actually. I use like the Blue Thunder Bomb. My finishing move is called the Detox, which is an Impaler DDT.
Ooh,
yeah, yeah. You want Jim to take that?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Jim takes that, and I do more of like a Hogan thing where it looks like I'm the tough guy, and then I just like maybe cheap shot you with a belt, and it doesn't hurt you.
What? Okay, no sell. All right, yep.
You turn around, and I give you the no, and then wait for it. Jim comes up, gives you the uppercut to the groin,
right?
And then we tap you out. I think that's the way it should go out. I don't know.
Dude, we just sold 1 million tickets right now, brother. we just told the whole story, man. We just sold out Madison Square Garden. Speaking of your guitar tech, he was on our show.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I was just about to say, I want to know how you met Mr. Jim Poggi.
Oh man. Okay, so first off, I slid into his DMs.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah,
he's so cute.
He is cute, man. I was like, man, hey, look, brother, look. No, actually, I found him on TikTok.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he's from the Baltimore area. He lives in Baltimore, in the Baltimore area. I was on Ring of Honor is based out of Baltimore, so I was locked in a hotel doing the COVID gimmick, right? Mm-hmm. And I was searching through TikTok, and he came up on my TikTok. And I was like, oh, dude, like, awesome. So I go and like he's doing guitar stuff, and I was like, oh, dude, I'll give him a follow. Yeah. Then he followed me back. And then he's like, hey, dude, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Like I looked you up. Like now I'm a fan. I was like, oh, dude, like I'm kind of a fan of yours, you know, because I found out who his band, Dead Eyes, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, like your band is awesome. Like I'm a huge fan of your band. And then out of nowhere, dude, we were just texting. I was like, yo, dude, can you be on my show in like 15 minutes?
That's him though.
And he's like, yeah, I ain't got anything going on. Yeah, why not?
Yep.
And boom, he jumped on, and then all of a sudden, you know, I tweeted it out, and then you tweeted, and then bam, here we are. That's exactly how it happened.
That's how it happens. Like anyone watching in chat, I just want you to know, whatever it is you want to do in life, there is literally only one person stopping you, and that is yourself. 100. If you're gonna, now more than ever, it's so easy to tweet at people that you would never think that would respond to you. Like, and I'm gonna keep it real here. I am nobody in the grand scheme of things. In the atmosphere of like people that are out there, you could message whoever, and you'd be surprised who will respond to you. I'm not saying go out there and, you know, every single day text a celebrity, so to speak, and be like, hey, like,
you get those?
I get some, but for the most part, now I feel like the people who have at least stayed consistent and are like messaging me, they don't get mad if like once I'll literally just like read it and be like, I don't necessarily need to respond to this, but like I have fans who will update me with what's going on in their life, and I like reading it. Like I might not respond to you every day, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like if I have time, if I'm not doing something, sure. If I'm standing in line waiting for Chipotle or whatever,
Chipotle.
rip, yeah.
You had me at hello. When you say Chipotle, you had me at hello. So I need a funny story, man. I need a rib or something that you did to Jim. I need a rib. Like, I mean, I bet you like backstage is like absolutely nuts with you guys. I bet you guys are always pulling pranks on each other because that's kind of what we do is in the wrestling business. When we're bored, we just prank each other. It's called a rib. What? Tell me. And then if you guys have questions for Dylan, please put them in the chat. We'll go ahead and ask him.
I'll answer any questions that are in chat.
Yeah.
Jim's still relatively new with our crew. I have gotten him once pretty good. This last tour before COVID, we were over in Europe and it was his birthday. And so we didn't really tell him what we were going to do. And if you know anything about Jim, he doesn't like all of the center of attention to be on him. He's just like, nah, I'll just like be in the band, whatever.
Really? Because he was on the show and he's like, it's all about me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
So we got him a cake and, you know, the band was like, well, at some point, let's just bring him out and let him blow out candles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, fuck that. Give me the cake and I'm going to smash in his face. And so like right after one of our really emotional songs, Every Time You Leave, like concert's all quiet, everybody's all moody. I bring him out and he's like, oh dude, what? He's like smiling but through his teeth like, what are you doing, dude? And I'm like, come on, man, happy birthday. And like Christian, our other guitar tech, brings out the lighter and everything and he's going to blow it out and just bam, just smashed his face right into it. Felt so good. I think I actually have a picture of it on my Instagram.
Hell
somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I do. But there's always like some sort of antics going on. A lot of the pranks over the years have really happened between Eric and I or Steve and I, or it's usually me getting pranked, I feel.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the one who always gets ribbed?
Yeah, I feel like it.
All right.
I feel like it.
All right.
But yeah, it's on there for sure.
Okay, I'll take a look at that later. Or you guys head over to his Instagram. It's Dylan Bowman, just the same thing as his Twitter. And make sure you guys go and give him a follow. Please do that. Yeah. Go give him a follow. Give him some things. Are you watching the chat?
I am.
You are? Okay, so Steg has a question about DOA.
Okay.
Probably my favorite song since it is so powerful. Was it a super morbid to see you take a bullet to the head?
Okay, so let me break this down here.
Yeah.
So it was super morbid to like see the playback and see, you know, all 5 of us get shot because of how realistic Ben, our director made it. I think more than anything at the time, I was really pissed off. I was really pissed off because when we were filming this, obviously shootings had been going on. They're still going on all the time.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but I can't even fucking remember which one happened at that time. But I just remember being mad about having to tackle this issue and how we were going to tie it in. It was one of those videos that after we had made it, it had kind of actually taken on a newer meaning, which had meant even more, obviously, with the George Floyd and the inequalities that have been going on there. There was a message that came through in the song, the I Can't Breathe and all this stuff that kind of just sort of just kind of surrounded that whole aura. So it was just a really well done music video, in my opinion, by the director and like the vision behind it.
Yeah.
Just one of those videos that ended up being super powerful. The second part of your question, though, Joyner Lucas shares directors with us. His name's Ben Prue, and he's got several Grammy noms with Joyner, which is awesome. And Brian, our lead vocalist, reached out to him and kind of said like, hey, I really want to work with you. And that was 2 years ago, right when Trauma was getting ready to release. And since then, we haven't worked with anybody else. I know he's got a couple of ideas for some music videos that we still want to maybe do off Trauma. And I know we're going to work with him in the future as well. So it was one of those things where both parties didn't know each other. We knew the director and Joyner showed up.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, that was my first time meeting a professional rapper, and the amount of "don't fuck with me" vibes that they put out is astounding.
Wow, really?
like it's so obviously like with a music video shoot with us, we're
Yeah.
goofing around, eating chips and sandwiches, and being dorky white kids. But all of a sudden, Joyner shows up. He literally doesn't say a word. He's quiet, slips in, and all of a sudden he's just sitting in the director chair, and I'm like, oh shit, he's here. All right, well, I'm gonna go say hi to him. And so we all go say hey. We're like, hey, what's up, man? And he's just like, yo, how's it going? Cool. All right, well, we'll get this done. I'm gonna go back to my trailer. And we're like, you got a trailer? Like, he got his own trailer and shit. We were like, damn,
I got a folding chair. Like, how did you get his trailer?
He's like, I got dropped off in someone's van. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Didn't even have windows.
Yeah, but he was super professional about it. And I mean,
cool.
he like every time there would be a take with him or something in it, he would say his piece like, nah, I don't really think it should look like this. I think we should do it like this. And yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to play games. I'm just here to fucking work, which I respect. So
yeah, man. I don't know, man. It seemed like I'd be all stressed out. I'd be like not wanting to, really mess with him or anything like that. I'd be like, yo, dude, I'm glad you liked that take because, man. Like,
for me, I was just like, did you fly in okay? He's like, yep. I was like, cool. I'm gonna stay out of your way.
I'll be right over here if you need me. Yeah. Austin Acid wants to know, Dylan, do you like horror movies? And if so, what are your faves?
So I have a love-hate relationship with horror movies. My dad grew up liking horror movies, and so I watched some as a little kid, and they traumatized. Well, I shouldn't say traumatized me, but like scared me pretty bad. So for the most part, I don't partake in some of them, but like nowadays, like my fiance will be like, hey, I want to watch this scary movie, so let's watch it. And then the next thing I know, I'm watching the hell is that movie called? Oh shoot, the one where the little girl's head her head flies off in the car, and her little brother's like, or her older brother ends up being a demon. Man, what the hell is it? Insidious? Is that right?
Is it Insidious? I haven't seen it yet.
No, Hereditary.
Hereditary. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
So next thing, have you watched it?
I have it.
That's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Hereditary.
Hereditary. Yep.
It's terrifying, and it's one of those movies where you watch it and you have to watch it like 9 more times to understand everything. But sorry, to get back, I'm off track.
No, you're good.
When I was younger, my dad used to watch a lot of scary movies, and one that scared the living piss out of me was the Leprechaun movies. I don't know if you've ever seen
I'm
those.
the Leprechaun. Yeah.
So they always say like, I'm gonna tear your ear off and make a boot out of it. So I was at Hollywood Horror Nights. I don't know if you know what that is.
Love it. Yeah, Universal Studios. Hell yeah.
My fiance took me last year, 2 years ago, for the first time or whatever. And so I'm like in line explaining to her like my fear of the Leprechaun, and we turn the corner, boom, full like Hollywood makeup, Leprechaun, and I just screamed, dude. I just ran. I was like, no way.
That's it. I'm out.
Way. Yeah, like he's not even that scary looking.
Right.
It's just like it's one of those things that's burned in my brain, like bad.
Wow, man. Yeah, those movies weren't even really that. Who was it? Jennifer Aniston was in the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, man. She's bomb. She's so hot.
And they're so stupid. Like
they are stupid.
Speed Pump says Leprechaun in the Hood. Yeah, Leprechaun in space. Like so outlandish and stupid. Yeah. But
to get Sledge in there. How many subs to get Sledge in your next video?
Dude, I'll let him know if we need another like big scary looking dude.
Dude, I would love it.
I'm we always put extras in, so
dude, I'm in, bro. You guys are coming. Actually, a buddy of mine hit me up. He's like, yo, dude, like there's a huge tour coming through Florida in September, and you guys are playing you guys are playing one of the days. You guys are playing Saturday, I think, with Five Finger Death Punch. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm totally there. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
I think that's gonna be our only show right now in this year, actually. So,
really? So with things are opening back up, are you guys like kind of like hanging back a little bit, kind of waiting for the world, or because a lot of bands are out there right now trying to get like tours and starting to kind of thing with the world kind of opening up, like how is I Prevail feeling about that?
So I feel like we're in a pretty good spot as far as like when you're in a big band, you do like you have your downtime for writing.
Yeah.
You have that lull. You build that anticipation where fans are like scratching their head, like, haven't heard anything new from this band in a while. Wonder when they'll come out, or wonder what they'll do. I feel like caught a pretty good cycle, unfortunately, with COVID, but we're in the middle of, writing that new material we've been talking about. We teased at the beginning of the year from Brian's tweet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just really focusing on trying to deliver the best album that we can to follow up Trauma before we talk about, trying our best to put more dates on the calendar when we just don't know like what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say this to everybody, but like you got to take all these dates with a grain of salt, because it's very likely, not very likely, but it's also still possible that they could be like, hey, these shows can't happen, so we got to push them back.
Yeah.
And we want to know for sure when we announce, like, yo, get the mosh pit ready.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, for sure. And you guys were overseas when COVID hit, right?
Literally had to travel overnight just to make it back in time before the country shut down.
How did that feel? Like, having to, with them going, like, first off, who was it? Like, was it management told you guys, like, hey, like, we're pulling the plug on everything. You guys need to fly home now. Like, how is that? How was it? Go ahead.
It was kind of a shitty night because a lot of us were kind of at each other's throats. So I was sick. I got sick when we were in Helsinki, Finland. And to this day, I still don't know if it was COVID or not. I didn't have time. I didn't have time to get the test when I got home. It wasn't available, and it's been too long now to know. So I still don't know if I had it at that point, but it was so bad that they made me, well, they didn't make me, but I stayed back in a hotel one night after a German show and took a train all the way across Germany 2 days later to meet up with them because my fever was high and they didn't want me to get anyone else sick.
Wow.
So when it came, we just played a show in Poland, I think. Maybe it was another German show. All the shows around us were starting to get canceled. At one point, we had to cancel a show in Switzerland because they were like, if you go to Switzerland, you can't go anywhere else because of quarantine. So everybody, like, at this point at night, we're like delegating, like, what do we do? Should we find tickets? And I remember I'm laying in bed and I'm like in this group chat and I'm literally the only one advocating to go home. I'm like, let's go home now. I don't feel good. I don't want to get stuck over here. And all of them are like, dude, shut up. We need to keep pushing for our fans. We need to keep. And I'm like, no, I know, but like, I'm sick and I don't know if we're going to get stopped. Like, I don't want to stay over here for X amount of who knows. And so they were like, dude, we don't want to have to do this. Well, then we finally got a call. All of Live Nation, not just our management, but like everyone, the Taylor Swifts, Justin Bieber's, Justin Timberlake's, One Direction, all those people, everybody's getting pulled home. Like, nobody's doing shows. And that's when it was like, okay, now we kind of got to go home. So it was like 3 a.m. We all got out our phones. Our manager or our road managers that were out with us, obviously, worked tirelessly overnight to book flights. And instead of driving to Amsterdam to our gig, we drove to the Amsterdam airport. And I think the 5 guys in the band and plus our manager that comes with us everywhere, we flew home first. And then the next day, most of our crew flew home.
Wow.
But it was, I mean, honestly, from my point of view, like, I'm usually the one who's the hypochondriac and is like, oh, I don't know if we can do this. Like, let's think about this. I was ready to go home just because I didn't feel good. And I wasn't really thinking about not playing a show again for X amount of years now. If I could go back, I'd let myself get twice as sick and still play all the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's, with the unknown. And Jim, your guitar tech, was saying that he was sick too over there as well. And
I think I got him sick, actually. Yeah.
See, there's that rib. There's that rib again, Yeah. Take this. No, but yeah, man. I'm glad you guys all got safe home. I was in Vegas when everything hit. We were in there for I want to say it was the 18th anniversary show for Ring of Honor, and we all got to Vegas, and next thing you know, we're all getting texts saying that, hey, the shows are canceled. Y'all need to go home.
Ugh.
And we're like, well, you guys have already paid for our hotels, so I don't think we're gonna go home. So we all just kind of stayed and hung out and because it was so unknown. We're like, well, if the world's coming to an end, then we might as well just
party
at
least have fun,
have fun. And you know what, it was funny because no one knew about COVID. Like, people knew about it, but like no one really knew about it because the streets in Fremont were packed.
Oh yeah,
packed. And apparently, hey Dylan, pleasure to have you with us. Yes, Dylan Bowman's here from I Prevail, the guitar player and one of the vocalists for I Prevail. He is here with us, hanging out,
What up, girl?
having fun. Just Kelsey says, Dylan, I want to say thank you to you and your band for helping me through a bout of depression during one of the worst times of my life.
Yo, Just Kelsey, I just want to say thank you for sharing that message with me. And just to let you know, I feel like I go through that stuff too, and I have a lot of bands that I listen to that help me with that as well. So it means a lot to me that I can be a part of a band that pulls somebody out of that. And yeah, I hope we don't disappoint you with anything we release from here, and I hope it continues to help you.
Yeah, man. Now let me ask you a question. When you first got into the band, you guys were in the bus, not in the bus. You guys were in the bandwagon, bandwagon, right? When you guys got your first bus, how was that? When you where were you? Like, because when you guys go on tour, you guys obviously fly because you guys all live in different parts, right?
Right now we all live in Michigan.
You live in Michigan, yeah. Right? Yep. But you're obviously relocating. Probably some of the other bands might relocate, and then you guys will just fly to a designated area, and then fly to the gig, or how does that work? Because
so we're still pretty old school, I'd say. Traditionally, we're more like a sports team, really. Like I said, the 5 of us live in Michigan right now, so we have a communal practice space, and that's where it's going to stay. I'll fly out to Michigan pre-tour for about 2 or 3 weeks and practice here with the guys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then we usually just will have a tour bus that will pull up to either our practice space or a couple of tours we've practiced, like in Nashville or Chicago, for lighting purposes, so we can set up the lights prior to the show to figure all that out. But for the most part, the fly gigs only happen if it's like the one in September this fall. If it's one show and it's on the other side of the nation or wherever, we'll fly out all our gear and we'll do a fly show for that. But for the most part, if it's like a big month and a half, 2-monther, we'll just old school, just ride the bus, for 2 months.
That's crazy, man. So when your first bus rolled up, dude, we were like, did you have that moment where I think I've made it? Like, this is what it's about right here is the bus, And,
yeah.
And are you a top bunk kind of guy or are you a bottom bunk kind of guy?
I am the very, very bottom bunk, all the way in the very back. We all kind of have our designated spots.
Yeah.
Eric and I are always the bottom in the very back. Steve is in the middle, and Brian and our drummer Gabe really like their sleep, so they're in the very, very front. And our bus kind of it has certain doors that kind of you press a button, it's like a spaceship. It's they're shut.
Yeah.
So it's really quiet, really dark. But the back lounge is kind of where the boys kind of play video games all night. We're not a typical, I guess, movie star rock band where it's Jack Daniels, random, females or whatever. That's not us. We're all either in very serious relationships, married. After shows, we'll get pizza and play video games, or stuff like that. We're not here to try to, do anything other than play music and have fun. But having said that, I mean, being on the bus for the first time was one of those where I was like, yeah, this is pretty okay for my life. I'm okay with that. My favorite thing to do is I still wake up early. I wake up at 5 or 6 every morning. I just can't help it. It's my internal clock. But I love to go in the back lounge while we're driving, and we'll get into a big city at 6:30, 7 a.m. And I love to just sit in that back lounge, open the windows, and just people watch in the morning on their morning commute, because everybody's so angry.
Yeah.
And it makes me appreciate what's going on so much. I'm like, holy fuck. I could be on my way to working at Apple again, or Best Buy, or McDonald's, or whatever I was doing before. All I got to do is just sit here at 7 a.m. and enjoy my coffee and play video games for 3 hours until load in. This is great.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then what is one of your favorite places you've been so far?
So as far as going and just being there, Perth, Australia is probably one of the most beautiful places I think I'll ever go in my entire life. It's literally the farthest that I could be away from home. It's on the exact other half of the world.
Yeah.
Beautiful sand, beautiful water. My favorite places to play shows, Las Vegas is one of them. And I would say the other one is probably Denver or Salt Lake City.
I love Denver. I love I love all three of those places you said.
Right.
All three of those
Beautiful.
places,
All the
man.
places.
Vegas, yep, I'm all about it, dude. And Salt Lake, Denver, yep, I'm all about those as well. We got a couple questions for Dylan. At the end of the day, why do you make music? Other than you love it and pay your bills?
Well, I would say I've always just kind of had a knack for like wanting to entertain, whether it's like doing this, talking to you guys, making my family or friends laugh. My uncle has always been in a bar band ever since I was a little kid. So I've always seen like the lights on the guitar and like somebody standing front stage singing out, Journey, Styx, all this stuff. And like everybody's attention was on this guy or girl or whoever, just performer. And I've just always been after that kind of thrill. So for me, like, obviously it is about making the music, but it's just as equally enough, if not a little bit more, about playing it live and performing. And what I would assume it feels like, I've never been in the ring, but I'm sure it's probably pretty similar to be pretty hyped to do your signature move on somebody and have everybody just be like, oh,
just go nuts.
like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it feels so good, right?
Yes. I was in what was that? San Antonio, I think that's where I was at. And I just got done wrestling Chase Owens from the Bullet Club, New Japan guy. And first time we met, first time there, and we just tore the house down. It was just one of those, and like I'm laying there after the match, and the place is like just going absolute just bonkers for what we just did. And I'm just laying there, and like that's one of those feelings where you just go, this is why I do it right here.
Yeah.
This is it right here is why. Because they're just like, both these guys, every chant you can think of. This is awesome. Fight forever. Whatever chance they got, and I'm just laying there going, this is why I do this right here. Man, I'm going to be hurting in the morning, but damn it, it's all right. And having those 6 a.m. flights, man, flying to different time zones, those sometimes can kill you, having that jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, when you fly, you've done probably overseas, and then the next day you did a show in the States. That probably really messed up your time clock because, overseas is probably 8 hours. I did that one time when I was over on tour in the UK. I did 3 weeks over on tour in the UK, and then I flew back overnight and then did a show. I did like a 2:00 show, and I was so jet lagged. I was done after that, but I was like, you know what? They paid their money. I got to be here. Let's do it.
It messed with you for sure, man. I remember our first Australian tour got so screwed up because of a typhoon or monsoon or whatever.
Yeah.
It ended up being, so we were originally supposed to get like a day or two at each stop to kind of like rest and relax. But because of the weather, all of the shows got pushed back a day. So we ended up doing 13 days straight, but every single one of those days was a fly date. And at the time, it's not like, oh, the band just flies without any of their gear. No, all 6 of us had to divvy up like 56 carry-on items.
Wow.
And bring those through customs every day to fly. And it was just one of those things. I remember we were playing in Brisbane, and I look at my phone. It was on my amp. I turn around and look at my phone, like right as the set's starting, and I click it. And I say to myself out loud, I'm like, it's been 4:30 a.m. back home. Like, I'm so loopy right now. Yeah. Like, how am I playing a show?
Yeah, how am I even standing right now? Because I am so loopy. Yeah, dude, I've been there, man. Hey Dylan, have you ever played a gig in Europe, and what is your favorite one? You just said, right.
Well, so we've only played Europe a handful of times. Yeah. I really enjoyed, obviously, these last couple of headlining tours there. Has been cool to see like our own crowd show up, but like we played Download Festival with, I want to say Smashing Pumpkins was the headliner, and it was just a total mud fest. Everything there was muddy, but it was so cool. I had such a good time. Nobody cared that it was disgusting weather. They were just still out there in the thick of it, having a great time. They want to know about the food specifically in Europe.
You don't want me to get on the food on Europe, dude. You don't want me to do that.
Wait. Are you a fan or not a fan?
I'm not a fan.
Bro, okay. How do I virtually shake your hand right now?
We just high five. Virtually high five. There it is. Yeah. Dude. Yeah. No, I am not a fan of European food, dude. So when I was over there in the UK, right, and I was doing the tour, and I was like, man, like I literally lived off like chicken, and it wasn't even really that good of chicken. And
would you have Nando's? Was it Nando's or whatever?
Dude, get out of here with Nando's. Just take Nando's and just throw it right. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, go to Nando's. Dude, that was one of the biggest things. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Europe, man. It was like the first thing people were like, dude, you got to go to Nando's, bro. You got to go to Nando's. Okay, first off, in the States, we're very generous here in the States. Okay, we'd like to tip. If you're good to me, I will tip heavily. If you take care of me and whoever I'm with, I will tip heavily. That's just how I am, right? I go to tip in Europe. And first off, no one came to my table. You had to go up and you had to get, to Nando's and you had to go into order, right? And I go to tip. And she looked at me like I just spit in her face.
Oh yeah.
Like she was so angry at me. I was like, dude, is she gonna spit in my food? Like she is so pissed at me right now because I tried to give her a tip. Yeah, it was not good. And then I was like, after that, and then I went to a TGI Fridays over there, brother. What in the that that was not TGI Fridays. I was like, let me get some chips and some guac. I'll tell you right now, brother, that was not guac at all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And the only reason why I went there was because it was free Wi-Fi. That was it.
To me, I think that's the hardest part about being in Europe is like, I'm a Verizon customer and they give you 0.5 gigabytes.
They give you nothing. Yeah.
And there's you can pay $10 extra every time you want a half gig.
Yeah.
But there's just no getting around that. You're just over there at the mercy. But so speaking of food, I have one story where I literally was just like, I think I might fly home. I think this might be it for me.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
so
tell me.
This is our first time in Germany, I think, which would have been 2019. And we're on this bus. This is our first time having a bus in Europe, and it's a rundown bus, like barely works. Can't be on, obviously, when we're not using it because of like greenhouse gas emissions. They have that whole rule. But one particular day, none of us had gotten any sleep because of how hot it was, and there's never any AC on European buses. They just don't do that over there. But we pull up to this like very rural town in Germany, like cobblestone roads, and there's like one hotel and that's it. And Brian, our lead vocalist, is like, guys, I'm not feeling well. I haven't gotten sleep. I'm coming down with something in my throat. I need the hotel room. And so we're like, can we just get another one? And we always like try to like talk ourselves out of trying to spend money or not spend money when we don't need to. So we're like, nah, we're not going to do it. Let's just try to enjoy the day outside. So I'm already like at the end of my rope. Like I wanted to sleep, bro. I can't sleep on the bus. And I was being a bit of a diva, admittedly, but Eric and our photographer Kurt are like, dude, it's cool. Let's just go get some pizza. You love pizza. And I'm like, yeah, it's Europe. How can they fuck up pizza? This is fine. So we're like using spotty Wi-Fi, looking up the order for this pizza place. I'm like, I'm going to order my own pepperoni pizza. This is going to be great. So I look at the menu and it says pepperoni, but it's spelled a little differently. And I'm like, okay, we're in Germany.
We're in Germany. Yeah.
It's going to be spelled a little differently. So I load that bitch up. I'm like, extra pepperoni. That's all I want on there. Takes like 55 minutes for our pizza to get there. So I'm also upset about that.
Damn.
And Kurt, our photographer, I just remember he brings me my pizza and just gives me this look like, you're not going to be happy with this. And I just remember being like, how can this get any more fucked up at this point? And he opens it up and it's just pepperoncini peppers, which I'm not really like super into spice, but like not going to eat just, and it was piled, dude.
Oh,
it was literally just like dough, cheese, a little bit of sauce, and then a mound of pepperoncini peppers. And so I'm in the lobby of this hotel and he hands it to me and I'm just like, trying to hold back like one tear, and I literally just fucking threw it and walked outside, and they're like, dude, are you okay? I was like, no. I'm like, finally, I was like, I fucking had it up here. I was like, I want to go back to the United States where there's McDonald's, a Wendy's. I know what the hell I'm eating. I was so mad, dude.
This pizza sucks.
Yeah. The lady in the front desk is just like looking at me like, these American boys are out of control.
These boys are weird. Do we need to call security?
Yeah.
Pepperoni is American sausage. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah. That's what our chat
It's an
says.
American sausage.
Yeah.
Oh, it is called American sausage.
Oh.
They also eat beans for breakfast. Yes.
Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, dude. So they brought me an English breakfast, right? And I don't like tomatoes.
Okay.
Like sliced tomatoes. I'll eat salsa all day long. I'll eat pizza sauce all day long, pasta sauce all day long. But if it's a sliced tomato on a burger, throw it on out. I don't even want it. It gets soggy, bro. Like, I'm not into it. I'm not into soggy bread. I'm not into any of that, you know? Yeah, go ahead.
One
yeah,
second.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Hang on.
Your puppy's like, yo, dude. Guys are awesome.
Sheesh. Sorry.
Dude, you're good. You're all good. We're just sitting here just talking about you. That's it, dude. No big deal.
Oh,
you know?
jeez. You guys should join the fan club. I'm pretty sure there's one online.
I got, dude, when I felt, all right, dude. So like, I'm a recovering addict, and you know, when people, you know, start getting somewhat success, a lot of people that don't, you know, go after the success like somebody else does, they don't like you very much, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a hate group on Facebook, bro. I had a hate group on Facebook. Yeah, from some people here in California going, I can't believe Ring of Honor gave him a shot, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Yeah, it was very interesting that they decided to put a hate group on me. I was like, I found out about that. I was like, wow, really? Like,
now,
go ahead.
were these like people that you used to like hang with? Or
I used to
like,
I used to wrestle with.
Or...
I used to wrestle with him. Yeah. I cut a lot of people out of my life, dude, when I got sober. Because you realize when you get sober, dude, or like when you get, you know, somewhat fame or whatnot, when you get somewhat fame, you get people that come out of the woodworks trying to get at you. Right. You know that better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I haven't talked to you since like high school. Like, what? Didn't
right.
you pick on me in high school? Like, right. And now you're like, hey, bro, my kid loves your band. Can you go ahead and give me 5 tickets and backstage passes? That'd be great. And you're like, wait, what? No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, when I started getting, you know, somewhat of some steam, you know, I heard through the grapevine that there was a Facebook group that, you know, hating on me. And I was like, man, like, that's not nice.
Right.
It's not nice at all, man. Like, what did I do to you guys? You know, besides me being a drunk asshole, you know, and now I apologize to everybody. So
I think that those are just usually the people that are still sitting in the hole, wondering how you got out, where you found the ladder, and are like,
I agree.
you know, fuck you for not telling me. And they embody that hate. And to be perfectly honest, I've caught myself doing it before. You know, I look at myself sometimes and I'm like, why do I, you know, in the back of my mind go, oh, fuck that person. They got that opportunity. It's really just jealousy. And that's hard to check yourself on. I feel like that's the hardest thing to do, is to tell yourself, like, you are in the wrong. I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do. And one thing that my parents, I don't know, I guess this sort of segues, but one thing my parents have always been big on with me and my 3 other siblings are like, don't be afraid to lose publicly and win privately. And so like, you know, just taking a chance and looking stupid, dare to suck, do your thing. And if people talk shit on you, then
at least they're talking about you.
Yeah, they're talking about you. Yep. So that's
one of the things that, like, I've definitely had to mentally check myself multiple times, especially lately now, since I'm getting more and more steam with everything and so on and so forth. And, you know, Ring of Honor is really putting some steam behind me. I really had to check myself of people like, man, why do people not, you know, some people don't like me, and like some of my peers. And I'm like, man, like, what did I do to you guys? You know? And then I think to myself, well, that's their problem, not mine, you know? So, but hey, at least you guys are talking about me.
Exactly.
You know, that's the way I look at it, you know? Dylan, what is your favorite wrestling finisher? The detox.
My favorite wrestling finisher.
The detox.
So I really like the Diamond Cutter, obviously, is one of my favorites of all time. Diamond Dallas Page.
Yep.
I'm fond of doing the Stone Cold Stunner on some of my bandmates.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They sell it pretty well. I would say the torture rack too. I've actually experienced that on just so many levels, from having 2 older brothers who are a lot bigger than me. I'm not a very big guy. I'm like 5'9", but for whatever cruel reason, God was like, hey, I'm going to make your big brothers 6'4" and 6'3" for no reason at all.
Right.
So I've been put in the torture rack, the ankle lock, man, the figure 4. I can't even tell you how many wrestling submission moves have just ended my day.
You don't understand. Like, a lot of people are like, yeah, that's you know, we're working, but you go and you crank that just a little bit the wrong way, it might be game over.
Dude,
you know, yeah.
When people are like, "Oh, wrestling's fake," I'm like, okay, jumping off of a turnbuckle and landing on a dude's shoulder with literally just like your chest or anything, that hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at an age where walking the wrong way hurts. So I can't imagine like jumping in the air, hitting a metal chair or a table. Like that stuff still takes a ton of physical effort and endurance. Like, no wonder when you watch a match at the very end of it, the guy's all beat red and everybody's like huffing and puffing. It's because they're literally moving. They're essentially like choreography, but with lifting. And oh god,
we're beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah,
like bottom line, like we beat the hell out of each other. So there's a bone right in between your hips and your spine, right? There's a bone right there that like connects everything. And I just got back from doing TV, and I'm like, man, I can't walk. Like my legs are just not like they're coming with me, but it's hard to walk, right? So I go and I see my chiropractor, right? Thank you, Dr. Scott. You're amazing. He's going, he's checking me, and I have neck issues. I have a C4 in my back, in my neck. That's bad. And he's going, he's cracking me up, right? And I was like, dude, man, like I can't walk. Like I feel like I can't walk. Like everything is just, And so he starts feeling my back a little bit more, and he's like, he goes, how's that feel? And I'm like, almost in tears. Before he does anything, he touches it in very tears. That bone was out.
Woo.
So he goes, this is gonna hurt. And I'm like, so he does a little. I don't know if you ever been to a chiropractor. Yeah. So the table lifts up, right? So he pops your hip up so he can push down, right? Pops my head up, and he's like, just breathe out for me. He goes, this is really gonna hurt. And I'm like, breathe out, and he pushes down. I yell as loud as I can in his office. And I'm literally, dude, I'm 6'3". I'm 240 pounds. Dude, I'm crying on his table. Crying on his table. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, how your legs feel? And I'm like, oh my God, they feel so much better. Like, I can feel my legs. Thank you so much.
He's just like hugging him like, thank you.
Yeah, dude, thank you. I'll tell you another story, dude. I'll tell you. No, Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you another story. I got dropped on my neck on a low boy ring. So there's two different rings, right? You got a low boy and you got a high boy, right? High boy is 4 feet off the ground. Low boy, I want to say about 2 feet off the ground, right? Mm-hmm. Low boys don't have a whole lot of give. The high boys have a lot more of a give. Towards the end of the match, yada, 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 so on and so forth, guy gives me his thing called a demon spike, which is a tombstone pile driver, but with my legs draped over the top rope, right? Yeah. Guy doesn't put his knees up to catch my shoulders. He drops me straight down. So my neck goes right into the mat. And it goes from the top of my skull, no bullshit, dude, from the top of my skull all the way down to my butt.
Yeah.
Crack. Oh. And I go, and then he lays me over, and I'm literally, as he's pinning me, I'm doing like the systems check.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my fingers, I can feel my fingers. Okay, cool. I can wiggle my toes. Cool. And I was like, my neck, dude, my neck. Like, I can't move my neck. And he's like, why did you spike? Why did you spike? I was like, why didn't you put your knees up so my shoulders would catch, asshole?
Yeah, holy shit.
So, I go, I'm laying there, and I'm like, all right, I was like, okay, I can get up. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna get up. I can get up. I'm getting up. Right. I probably shouldn't have moved, to be honest. I probably shouldn't have. This was the day before I left for my European tour. The day before I left for a 3-week European tour.
Aren't the tombstones like they don't do them anymore? Like,
there's only one person that, well, on the indies they do whatever they want. Right. But in WWE, there's only one person that does the two people that do the tombstone, and that is The Undertaker and Kane, and they both retired. The pile driver is a very like no, especially in like WWE, is a very no move. on the indies, people do whatever they want. You know,
Wild.
I go to my chiropractor the next day. You know, because I can't move. Like I'm like I literally leave. My plane leaves out of LAX at 2 p.m. And I'm like, I got to get to the doctor's office because I can't move. He literally pops my neck. Bing, bing. And he's like, how do you feel? I was like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm going to be okay. Fly through the night, get to my destination. I leave for tour their time, 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, all right, cool. I wrestle Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, double Saturday, triple Sunday. Imagine doing that with shows. A double Saturday and a triple on Sunday.
No way, dude. No way. Holy shit.
I make it through the tour. The day before I leave, I catch a drop kick straight to the neck. My neck goes, and I go, oh man, like I was doing pretty good. I was doing pretty good, man. Took a drop kick to the head, dude. Shook my neck, and then I left, and then I wrestled the next day. But yeah, I have some pretty nasty neck issues. So, to be honest,
I get freaked out just going to the chiropractor. We've had a couple come out before, like Eric, our vocalist, our screamer dude. Yeah. His cousin's a chiropractor, and sometimes cool. when we go through Georgia, he'll come up on the bus, and you know we'll all be after the show sitting around hanging out or whatever, and he'll adjust everybody. But I get a little freaked out. I don't like because he'll just like, okay, you ready, and he'll just like twist their head, and they'll be like, oh, that feels so good, and I'll just be like, dude, all it feels like is like you could have one too many beers and go a little too far, and then I just wake up from that.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm dead. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, bud.
I don't know. I probably should though. I'm starting to get some back pain now. I'm 31, about to be 32, but
oh, you're so old.
Right?
Get out of here. Jeez.
I just feel like as of now, like I'm finally getting the wear and tear of like wearing decently heavy guitars around, and my posture on stage is pretty goofy. Like I have like 1 foot up pretty much all of the time.
Right.
So
power stance, bro.
Yeah, I'm like in one. All of my weight is on 1 foot, so I'll definitely have some issues later in life for sure, but it's worth it.
Yeah, and your guitar, and you guys are playing what? You guys play what, 2 hour sets, give or take?
Yeah, it's
depends
usually
on what you guys are doing.
75, 80 minutes, yeah. But it's a lot. Like jumping and singing and being under the lights is already hot enough.
Hot.
It's wild.
It's crazy how quick you blow up. Like how quick you get tired after those when those lights turn on and they're beaming on you, and you're like, man, dude, I thought I was in, like, especially like when you're shooting TV and stuff like that, and you got the lights on. I always think to myself, like, man, I thought I was in good cardio shape, man, but I am blown sky high right now. Like, yeah, dude.
You can get so, and especially when you're singing. Like I did in 2017, actually, when we did the wrestling tour, like I said, I took over lead vocals for like 49 or 50 shows because Brian had a pretty severe vocal injury. But
talk about that. How was that?
Well, yeah, I'll go into that in a second. Yeah. So doing that, like playing the guitar, jumping, singing, doing the full lead vocals for a full set takes more breath than I remember any sport in high school, running a mile, anything like that. Like it takes so much more effort for me to do that. The way that whole thing went down. So, we had done almost a full year and a half of touring leading up to this tour. Like, we'd done 2 runs in Europe, 1 American run, and then all of Warped Tour, which was, 9 weeks or whatever. And then we had 1 week off, and we were getting ready to do this major headliner, which was us. We Came as Romans, The Word Alive, and Escape the Fate. So it was a huge tour for us. It was our Rage on the Stage. And I remember we were in Chicago, and Eric and I would both had huge fevers. I was coughing up blood, so I was super sick.
Wow.
And I show up to the venue that morning, and Steve, our guitarist, who's kind of like our band dad or captain, I'd say, like he's the guy who, like, if shit hits the fan, we're gonna go talk with him and see what we're gonna do. I see him pacing the parking lot on his phone, and if he's pacing, something's wrong, something's fucked up.
Yeah, something's not going right. Yeah.
So I walk up and I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "How do you feel about singing lead vocals today?" And I immediately was just like shrugged it off. I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm sick. I'm not doing that." And he's like, "No, for real. Like, Brian went home. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, Brian's gone. So we all had a meeting in the green room, and it was like, Brian has a huge vocal injury. We didn't know what it was at the time. It ended up being a vocal polyp on his vocal cord, as well as he was dealing with, depression and things like that from being gone. So he left. And basically that day at soundcheck, we were like, all right, we're going to see if Dylan can sing, if I can sing Brian's parts while Eric still does his thing and just lead the show. And it worked somehow. Like, I had played these songs enough to be able to go on autopilot while playing and still sing, the melody. The thing that sucked, though, is that while I did 49 shows, this first one while I was sick in Chicago was actually the one when our label owner, CEO, CFO, 20 label people were coming out to see our live show. So they get there early on in the day, obviously, and they find out Brian's not going to do the show or whatever. And so they're freaking out. And I just remember sitting down with the owner of the label at the time, and he's like, you think you can do this? And I was like, I mean, I think I can pull it off. I don't know if fans are going to like it. And he's like, all right, I guess we'll see. And so we played the show, and everybody still loved it, obviously, because Eric, as a front man on his own, is enough charisma to carry a whole show. But it was one of those things where as the tour went on, it got easier. And I obviously never wanted to be the front man of the band. I found a way to kind of get comfortable with it. But when Brian finally came back, it felt so good to just sink back in my spot of guitar, backup vocal / smart ass when I want to be on the mic.
Somebody wants to know who would you say be the least responsible band member?
The least responsible band member. That's hard to say. We all have our moments. I hate to put him on blast. I'm going to put Eric on blast.
Oh, boy.
He's really responsible with I'll say man shit, yard work, fixing cars, towing shit, building shit. But when it comes to remembering documents, remembering, your driver's license or this, that, and the other, I feel like Eric's the one's like, oh shit, I forgot this.
Son of a.
Yeah.
Warped Tour introduced me to you and your band, and I never looked back. Excellent. Do we got anything else that we got going on here, President Dylan? Who would be your main? Who is your main in Valorant?
So I'm pretty bad at Valorant, but I play as Jet or Raze a lot. Have you played Valorant?
I haven't. I don't really game too much on Twitch, and if I do, it's I'm an old school kind of guy. I love Counter-Strike.
Perfect.
Yes.
So Valorant, I don't know if you've seen it or anything yet.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's basically like Counter-Strike meets Overwatch. And so I didn't play a lot of Overwatch. I grew up watching some of my friends play Counter-Strike. I never had my own computer until recently. But I'm loving it. Like I said, I suck at it, but I do have a fun time with it.
I'll download it, dude, if you want to play together. I'm down if you want to show me.
It's a free game, so by all means.
Is it on Steam?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Excuse me. It's own. It's Riot. Do you know League of Legends?
Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Noob, he called me. Wow. Are you calling me a noob, or who are you calling a noob there, Mr. Warframe? Get out of here. Valorant is the new CS. Okay, CS go. If you had only one collab you can do ever, who would it be with?
One collab I could do ever. Holy crap. Okay. I would really love to work, obviously, with Ben Burnley from Breaking Benjamin, and he knows that. Since then, I've had the privilege of texting and exchanging numbers and talking with my idol, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep. I would love to work with him, or just to be able to say I did it, I would love to work with Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
Yeah,
I think Mike Shinoda would make a fucking banger I Prevail song.
I think you would make a banger I Prevail song too. Just him being on it would be a banger.
Absolutely.
Dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Why is Sledge not on drums? Why am I not on drums, dude?
Do you play drums?
I do. I got Animal on my arm, bro. Right here.
Oh.
Look at that. Animal with little sledgehammers.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
How long you been playing?
I used to play in a band before I got into professional wrestling. We were a touring band. We had a short, I'm going to say even shorter, little gig with Jägermeister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And playing for years, like since I was what, 10 or 11 years old, something like that.
Very cool.
I don't have a drum set right now. I have an electric set that's in my closet, but you know, I live in a condo, so you know.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah. Have you ever had a chance to check out our drummer Gabe?
I have. He does great YouTube.
Dude. So this is going to be a shameless plug, but I literally have no affiliation to Gabe whatsoever. He's just a good guy that plays in the band. Gabe is one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met. Like, he's not the type of guy that's going to tour to become famous. He's not the kind of guy that tours to, like, you know, get drunk or anything. He literally, and I'm not even lying to you, does not matter, rain or shine. He will wake up at 7 a.m. every single day on the bus, and he is editing pre-shot videos that he recorded at home for his YouTube video.
Yeah.
He works on every single day. Like, obviously he's a great teacher if you want to watch drums or learn drums, but if you just kind of want to like be in awe of somebody and their journey, just go look up drum beats online on YouTube, because it's fun to see his perspective and like how he's grown as a musician.
He had one of my favorite things that he did was he went to, what is it called, Fiverr? I think that's the thing. He went to Fiverr and then he sent out to the drum parts for an I Prevail song. I think it might have been Bow Down, I think maybe. And he's like, I want to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
Like, and like send him the guitar parts and like wanted to see what they came up with on the drums. And he went from like $5 to, I think he did like one to like already $300. And it was just, he was so nice the way that he like ripped them apart. It was extremely nice, but it was like at the same time was like, man, you were way off. You know, like, yeah. It was,
that's honestly how he is, though. He'll have the nicest way of like, if I messed up on a part, he would come up to me and be like, that was really interesting what you did there. I'm like, that is the nicest way of telling me that I was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's the nicest way you tell me I suck. But yeah, thank you so much.
But he, I really love playing in a band with him because like we'll obviously get, you know, we'll get the record out and you'll have the parts on the song, the drum parts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'll hear us live. And Gabe just adds so much flair to it. There's extra fills in there, and you're like, "Oh, that wasn't there before, but that sounds so sweet." Like, it's just great. So,
oh man, it's fantastic. How long do we have you for? I don't know what you got going on today.
So I've got.
We've been going for an hour 30.
Yeah, I've got probably another solid 10 minutes here before I should get off and work on some things. But
all right,
yeah,
cool.
We're vibing. We're vibing.
I love it, man. I love it. You guys got about 10 more minutes with him. You guys get your questions in now, and he'll answer them. You know,
I got a question for you.
Oh boy, here we go.
Besides,
out of here. No, go ahead.
Besides being on Stone Cold's podcast, I guess this is a two-parter. Who in the wrestling realm would you say that inspires you? And the second question is, besides Stone Cold, who is the highest up in the ladder that you've encountered?
Like people I've met?
Yeah, or just been around and like
I want to say like one of my mentors and somebody who really gave me like some really, really good advice when I was first breaking in, and I watched when I was a kid, and I still kind of mark out to the point that like I still get to like call him Uncle Dave, is Gangrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Like I was a huge Brood fan when I was growing up, man.
Dude.
Yeah, the vampire warrior himself, man. And I remember, I'll tell you a story, man. Like I was so green. I was green as goose shit, man. And I messed up this spot with him. I went out too early, like way too early, and I messed up this whole spot. He was pissed. Oh, and don't piss off Uncle Dave. He was pissed, and I was so afraid because we went to the after party, right?
Yeah.
I was so afraid because he chewed my ass, like he chewed me a new one. Like to the point of like I wanted to grab my stuff out of the locker room and just walk out. Like I'm done in the business. See you guys later.
Oh,
like it was a great stay for the last couple months, but I'll get out of here. I go up to him at the bar, and I go, "Hey sir, I just want to apologize again, man. I'm so sorry." And he goes and he like looks at me. And he's like, "Sit down, kid." I was like, "All right, cool." And he's like, "Hey man, like I'm sorry for blowing up at you." And I was all like, "What?" I was like, I appreciate that. And he's like, "But did you learn something?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Don't dwell on it. Take it as a learning experience and move on." because there's nothing you can do right now. You can't go back. You can't change it. We can't go back to the spot. We can't do anything. Learn from it and move on. And that was some of the best advice that I still hold to this day with a lot of things I do. So being able with him, being on tour with Matt Hardy was cool.
Yeah,
Matt
cool.
was great, man. That dude's a road dog. Matt is a road dog. So I can see that. I was driving, and he flew in with his wife Rebby, and we did a show, and then we had like a show like 5 hours down the road or something like that. And he's like, "I'll just jump in with you, Rebby. You're gonna sleep in the back. I'll just jump in with you." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, no problem." So we're driving, and he's like, "Dude, can we stop and get something?" I was like, "Yeah, man." So he stops to talk about it. He's like, "Do you want something? I'm buying." I was like, "Oh no, dude, don't worry about it, dude. It's all good, man. Don't even worry about it." We're driving down the road, and I'm expecting him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's 1 a.m, maybe. We're driving to this BFE town. I was expecting him. What? Rebby's passed out in my backseat. I'm expecting him to, dude. He stayed up with me the whole time.
Oh, nice.
And we talked. We talked WrestleMania. We talked Shawn Michaels. He's the one who actually got me onto Dexter.
Oh, okay.
Watching Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He was so cool. He's like, "Yeah, dude, like, sorry, man. Like, if the driver's up, I'm up, man." He goes, "That's just the road dog in me, man." And like, that was another lesson I learned. When the driver's up, you're up as well. You don't sleep, because it's disrespectful to the driver. Unless that's the driver's job.
If it's a CDL driver, I'm the same way. If it's a CDL driver and they're paid to do it,
yep,
that's what they're there for.
That's what they're there for.
They sleep all day. They're good. Yep. But if it's like, I'm with you. I'm up in the front or trying to make sure they're up.
Yep. Yeah, yep. That's who else have I met, man? Oh, dude, I've met so many people.
Real quick, just because I feel like I want to say this, while we're on the subject of people up driving with us, and I know this kind of brings the mood down a little bit, but I just got to pay respects are due. I mentioned how we had a bandwagon and we drove in that for the first couple of years. Yeah. Our first driver was a good friend of mine, but the driver immediately after that was a friend of our old drummer and our old merch guy, and he actually just this past weekend was killed in a head-on collision.
Oh wow!
So just real quick, I just want to say my respects to one of our old drivers, Sunshine. Felt really bad to hear that news, and the band's going to be sending out some flowers to his family. But just one of those things where life just comes at you. So I didn't mean to bring down.
No, dude, you know what?
I need to pay respects, and we were talking about it. So
no, man, like this is, dude, go to town, man. Whatever you want to say.
No, he's a good guy, and I don't think people realize, like, driving, whether it's you're a CDL or you're driving for a band and doing the van grind or selling merch or anything, that's appreciated. And I've been close with people who think that it's a do nothing gig and it's worthless work, but it's important. That guy had our lives in his hand for 3 extensive months, and to know that he lost his life in a car wreck, no less, is a little upsetting. But I just feel gutted because his nickname was literally Sunshine because he was such a nice guy. So my heart goes out to his family. So
wow, man, yeah, dude, definitely. Yeah. Can we get a sunshine?
Yeah, let's get a
chant in the chat. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be nice, chat.
That would be awesome. Chat's awesome.
Sorry, segueing on. Gangrel, though.
Yeah, dude.
Gangrel, dude, that's so cool. I remember when so he was with Christian and Edge when they originally came out, right? And they were like drinking the blood.
The goblet, dude. Yeah, brother. He would do that. He would do like the walk.
Oh yeah.
They
had fangs, right? They had fangs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Gangrel has fangs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he was telling me a story. He goes, those used to be real. His fangs used to be real.
Installed?
Yeah, and he got him on, right? And he got popped, and one popped out. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll just do him fake now." So Uncle Dave's awesome. Who else? Steve Austin. That one just came out of nowhere. It really did. And it was, what's cool though is like the cool thing about Steve is I still can text him to this day. Like it wasn't a one and done thing. It was like I still can text him to this day. And he's like, when I signed my Ring of Honor deal, I sent him a video of it. And he's like, "Hell yeah, kid! Congratulations! Like you worked your ass off for it." Like that's like was like really really cool. That was very rewarding.
Yeah.
But speaking of Breaking Benjamins, and we were talking about him, and you love that band. Sean Frost is fantastic on drums.
Oh yeah, dude. Sean is a maniac on the drums.
Yeah, dude. I've known of Sean when he was doing the covers on YouTube before he was even in the band.
Dude, this whole new lineup that they have is next level. Like I said, I've been a fan since 2003 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing about Breaking Benjamin that I feel like a lot of people don't know is they don't run any sort of backtracking. So like when you go see bands, there will be a little bit, some more than others, but like, when you come see I Prevail, there might be a little bit of theatrics in the background, like some like light piano or maybe one or two vocal takes that just make it sound a little bit more full. Breaking Benjamin does not have that. They have 5 vocalists. Everybody can either play the keyboard or they have 3 guitarists. They just don't run anything else except for a click. And that's something that you don't really see anymore. Right. So that's pretty impressive.
How's his health doing, by the way? The lead singer.
As far as I know, Ben is great. I mean, the last time I saw them live would have been January of 2020. I saw him at Van Andel with Korn, and he was in high spirits. I don't think anything's wrong with his lungs anymore. Yeah. He sounds amazing live.
Yeah, he does.
So,
that's good, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, Sean Frost, man. I was like, man, dude, you said Breaking Benjamin. It's like, dude, Sean Frost, the new drummer, is freaking sick, dude. He's so good, so good.
He lights it up,
dude. He's insane. Like drummers, man, that are like theatrical drummers that you go sit back there and watch, and they're sitting there. Like, there's a lot of drummers sometimes that are just back there and they're just playing, right? They're just going through the motions, doing the thing. Man, if you're back there and you're sitting there, and you're playing, you're spinning, and you're whatever, like. Shannon Larkin from Godsmack's like one of my favorite drummers of all time because he's back there and he's slamming he's this way, he's that way. Parkway's Drive's drummer, puts on is absolutely fantastic as well. The theatrical drummer, because I'm a theatrical person. I love theatrics, so.
Have you, now are you familiar with Beartooth?
I love Beartooth.
Their drummer Connor is another one of those really theatrical, but also always spot on in the pocket. Let's see here. Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath, obviously. Like, that dude plays the drums harder than anyone I know. Like, he just like hammers down on it as hard as he can. I love it.
I'll tell you a story. That's actually how I got the name Sledge, is because they called me the Hammer when I was playing drums.
Because you hit so hard?
Yeah, because I hit so hard. So I just took Hammer and made Sledge, and bam, off to the races we go.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Easy as pie. That's it.
And I noticed you got a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street behind you.
I am a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
So, having seen that, though, are you familiar with Ice Nine Kills?
I love Ice Nine Kills.
So, you know their CD, what is it? Silver Screen.
Silver Screen, yep.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I love watching their live show. What is it? Spencer, their lead vocalist, he dresses up like Freddy.
Yeah, he has that. Dude, every time I see that dude, I want to steal his vest. Because like Freddy's sweater, like stitched with something else. Like every time I see it, I'm like, I want it, and I want it now. Like if I ever see you, I'm gonna steal it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. But still,
those guys are really, really good live. I've seen them before. They absolutely shred, and it's very theatrical too. I love that aspect.
Yes, absolutely, man. We actually do a thing on my show every Sunday with actually King Steggy, who's in the chat. We call it Church. And we sit here and we talk metal music, and we talk, and we sit here and we play metal music for people, and we debut bands, and we man, we're 9 a.m. on Sundays, brother. We're in the holy of holies, and it's great.
I'm gonna have to stop in because I need to A, find some new music, but B, there's nothing that is more fun to me than showing people new music. Like, I love showing music to people that make that face where you hear that metal song where you get the stank face where you're like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. So I'll have to come check that out.
Yeah, dude, please, man. Drop by anytime, man. I feel like this is a friendship now. It's like if you ever need anything, all you gotta do is just reach out to me, dude. You have my number, dude.
Thanks.
We're gonna cross paths sooner or later. You're moving to a certain place that I'm visiting very, very soon. Which hopefully we're gonna hook up then, and we're gonna hang out. I'm actually gonna hook up with your guitar tech when I fly to TV in the next couple weeks, because he lives in Baltimore. I think we're going to go to dinner, if I'm not mistaken, on him. Just kidding.
Nice. Yeah. Jim, you better pay for it.
Yeah, Jim, you better freaking pay for it, dude. All right. Do you got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to get out of your way? I don't want to keep you too long, bud.
Yeah, I'm about to head out. I I feel like anyone that's here, if you enjoy Twitch, I do have my own channel. I go live usually Monday and Wednesdays. I implore you guys, please, reach out to any friends and let them know if they're looking for something to do during quarantine. Get them over to Twitch. It doesn't matter if they come watch me, Sledge, you know, any of my friends in the community, any of your friends in the community. I just want more people to understand the importance of interacting during quarantine and how cool Twitch has been. So like whether or not you come to my channel, like obviously I would love to see you guys and hang out with you, but like I just want to build the Twitch community, not just mine, just more people, because I feel like when I tell people like, oh, hey, I'm going live on Twitch, the first thing I always hear is, well, I don't want to spend any money to hang out. It's like, no, I don't want you to spend any money.
Right.
I literally, at this point, I just want to get viewers up. Like, I could care less if you know, don't ever pay me a cent and you just kind of spam like, wow, you suck at playing guitar, dude. Like, I would welcome that. I just want people in here to entertain. So if you're here, please, by all means, tell one person how much fun you have on Twitch, whether it's watching Sledge, Tim the Tap Man, anybody. Just, yeah, that's the only thing I felt like plugging. If you are an I Prevail fan, don't worry. We are working on new things. I think you guys will like it. I really do. And we're excited to show you guys the next chapter of I Prevail.
When you guys drop a new album, can I get you back on the show and talk about the new album? Hell yeah.
100%.
Dude. Hell
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. We're actually gonna get Dead Eyes, the whole band on the show.
I was just about to say, I'll try to do you one better, and I'll try to go over to Eric's or something and see if we can get Eric and I to stream at the same time.
Oh, I love that.
To be part of the show.
I would love that because he streams as well, right?
He does. Yeah. His is twitch.tv/Dick Van Berg. He doesn't have a set schedule, but he does stream.
I was actually just I just followed his stream just the other day. I was like, oh crap, he streams too. Oh, dude, that's awesome. So dude, it's been awesome having you, man. I really, really appreciate you jumping by, dude, and making this work. And
absolutely,
dude,
man.
I'm a fan, bro. And like I said, dude, if you need anything, dude, just please reach out.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, I'm looking forward to when you're coming out to where I'm moving to, so we can come check out a match. And we'll see you soon, man.
Yeah, dude. Make sure you guys follow Dylan Bowman, dude. Thank you so much for coming, dude. It's been freaking awesome. By the way, you're going to try to stream while you're on tour, right?
Yes. Yep. I'm gonna have Jim actually help me do that.
Are you gonna get a gaming computer, like a gaming laptop? Is that what you're gonna try to do? Because you can't bring your big boy with you, can you?
I think I'm just gonna bring the big boy with me.
Oh, dude.
I think we might have the room finally. I really do. So I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I know I'm bringing the GoPro for sure. My idea is to just like most nights before a show, give like a half hour, me doing warm-ups, and then kind of walk out on stage, hand the camera to Jim for maybe 1 or 2 songs to let him see like side stage. So
dude, that's awesome, dude. I can't wait for you guys to start touring again. I can't wait to see you guys, man. It's gonna be freaking awesome, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Bowman, thank you so much for coming by, buddy. I really, really appreciate it.
Take care, Sledge. We'll see you, chat.